I'm curious, we seem to have one more question from chat.
Love
This
it.
is going to be the Raging Hamster.
Okay.
Said, Anne, will humanity discover alien life one day? Perhaps on Europa or in Cladius, and how would that discovery affect us as a civilization? So, we're sending out nano spacecraft on beams of light, which already sounds science fiction enough.
Well, we're not going to be able to do it for another 10, 20
For a while.
years or 30 years.
But, do you think we will discover life?
Well, Raging Hamster, prophecy is a lost art, I mean, it seems counterintuitive to think of how many worlds, how many stars in our galaxy alone, and how many galaxies for us to be the only life. It just seems counterintuitive. But in the absence of evidence, I'm going to withhold judgment. How will it affect us? I have a feeling that so many of us, because we've seen so many movies and TV shows about it, that a lot of us feel as if it's already happened, even though it hasn't happened at all. Will we find life on Europa or in Enceladus? It's possible, It really is possible. People used to ask Carl, is there extraterrestrial life? And he'd say, well, we don't know yet. And then they would say, well, what do you feel in your gut? And he would say, well, I don't think with my gut. And so
that wouldn't be the scientific way.
It's sort of like, it's like I'm not a scientist, but I'm a devout lover of science. And so I really can't say how it will affect us. The existence of another form of life, I think, is not going to affect us that much as the existence of a form of intelligent life, which would be a whole different thing. I think if we found, small one-celled organisms on Enceladus or Europa and these subsurface oceans, it would be thrilling because it would be evidence that life is not the one-of-a-kind miracle, and that it would be another way in which we had been demoted from the center of the universe, and our need to feel special, which is, that is our greatest need as a species, would have suffered another blow. And I think it might have, it's possible, theological implications. Because if there are 200 billion stars, give or take, in our galaxy, and there are hundreds of billions of galaxies, and even in just this one little tiny solar system, there are already other examples of life, then I think we would have to completely revisit our notions of how life came to be spiritually. And if it was plentiful in different forms with a completely different evolutionary backstories, then I think we'd have to deprovincialize that kind of geocentric, Earth is the center of the universe feeling, which is so important to too many of us.
Absolutely. Harkening back to a few scientists who had suggested that, the solar system did not rotate around the Earth.
Yes.
Caused a few problems.
For some of them, it was life and death.
Life and death.